Hello, my name is Bobby Benton, aka Serendipitously Bobby, and welcome to Life Essentials, the Self Healer's Journey podcast.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Benton, aka Serendipitously Bobby, and tonight I am joining you virtually from my living room because of the weather. So tonight, guys, we are going to be talking about goal standards, talking about goal setting as you go through your healing journey. And tonight I have a very special guest, Miss Zipporah Bowler. I'm going to read Ms. Bowler's bio for you. Zipporah Bowler Sr. has over a decade of experience as a clinical therapist working with adults, children, family, and youth aging out of foster care. She had assisted many clients to move forward beyond past trauma and improve overall mental health. She is immensely dedicated to assisting others to thrive in areas of mental, physical, spiritual, and financial health so they are able to achieve the quality of life they deserve. She has over 100 hours of training in internal family systems, human development, achievement, trauma informed care, and financial therapy. She has been a health enthusiast for over 15 years. With many years of studying and practicing and creating a healthy lifestyle for her and her family, Zipporah has been able to implement healthy living strategies with clients to create an atmosphere for holistic healing. Welcome, Zipporah.
Welcome. Thank you, Bobby. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for being my guest. I saw we've known each other for years, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I saw that you started on social media doing your daily posts, like your inspirations. You're giving tips and tricks on how to heal, how to be healthy. The other day you were what was it? It was something, some food or something you was working on, but you had did this one post you were talking about goal setting, and I was like, oh my God, I need to do a show about goal setting, and I need her to do it because like, to me, you're one of the best therapists I have ever worked with.
Thank
And like I
you.
told you last night, I highly look up to you because working with you through the years, you have been just like top tier, caring about people. So I just had to have you here so you can unpack all this wisdom on top of us, okay? So I wanted us to just like jump right into just, can you share with us, like, as someone is going through their healing journey, the importance of setting goals through that journey?
Yes. The healing process is a process. There's different stages to healing. There's different stages of trauma, different stages of grief, and different stages in just our life period. So during that process, life is happening. But the only way that you can actually hit a bullseye, you got to have a target. And that's what a goal is. A goal is a target. When we just walk around aimlessly, we find ourselves not getting nothing done because we don't have any focus, because we don't have a target. So goal setting is extremely important, and it really, really helps you out of different phases of your life. It's really, really important. Got to have goals.
Yes. And what I have, so in everyday life working with clients, I watch people say, okay, I'm on my healing journey, I'm healing and stuff, but they don't, like you said, they don't have that bullseye. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, like, I don't know, I don't think you do this, but some therapists, like, you go in and you talk, you're doing talk
Mm-hmm.
therapy, but goals were never set. I have
Mm-hmm.
experienced that with therapists I have gone to for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to therapy and I'm talking through my trauma, and I ain't I'm all over. Well, you know me, I'm all over the place. So So, it is very important. Like now where I'm at in my healing journey, I knew, I learned to do that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So can we jump into like, can you talk about SMART goals for us?
Yes, I love SMART goals. I like things with acronyms because it kind of help you remember things better. SMART goals are making goals that are specific. It's making goals that are measurable, making goals that are attainable and achievable, and making goals that are relevant, realistic, and timely. Reason why this is so important. Number one, specific goals. What is the goal that you're trying to do? Are you trying to get a promotion at your job? Are you trying to graduate? Are you trying to even enroll in school? Are you trying to begin building yourself spiritually? Whatever those goals are, it has to be specific. One thing that's funny that everyone says in therapy a lot is, I don't know. I don't know. We have to know, where are we going if we don't know what's specific? Doesn't have to be anything big, but you have to have something specific. And it has to be measurable. Reason why it needs to be measurable, because an old mentor told me your motivation can cloud your vision. Because sometimes we do have a lot of things that we want to do, but sometimes we have so much motivation, so much passion for things that we don't set measurable goals. And what happens when you don't set measurable goals? Sometimes you fail at the goals and then you start having feelings of doubt. You start having feelings of failure because you think that you can't achieve the goal. It's not that you can't achieve it. You just didn't make your goal measurable. So I always say, you eat your food one bite at a time, and that's how you should approach your goals. So measurable, let's just say 30 days, 60 days. Sometimes we need to take that big goal that I like to say macro goals, and you need to break it down into micro goals. What can I do in 7 days? Can I attack a task one, even if you take a task, one task a day? Getting small steps done is progress. People think you got to have something big. So that's measurable. Then attainable, achievable. I can't sing. I ain't never been able to sing. So if I want to sit up here and say that I'm about to sing and I'm about to be the next whatever Whitney Houston, it's not gonna happen. It's not attainable. It's just not gonna happen. That wasn't my blessing. God gave me the gift of helps. He didn't give me the vocals. So it has to be something that's achievable, something that you know that you can actually do. Then it have to be realistic. Okay, now if you starting your workout journey, don't sit up here and say you've been eating junk, drinking, smoking, and then you about to say that you're going to go run 3 miles tomorrow. It's not impossible, but I don't think you should put that stress on your body like that. So let's do something that's relevant. Let's do something that's realistic. What can you do? I can change my diet today. I can stop drinking today. I can stop smoking today. You can make those small little steps that lead us to the bigger goal. And then timely. This is one that is difficult for a lot of people, because if you set a time, let's say 30 days, and you haven't accomplished it, some people start having those doubts again. It's about, even if you didn't finish it, how far did you get? Because I guarantee you got further in 30 days than you did at day one.
Yep.
And that's when you reboot and you start over and you set your next goal. Things are not realistically, life happens in between. So you just start over. What's my next 30-day goal? 30-day goal. If you got 75% of your goal completed in 30 days, that's freaking awesome. You did a really, really great job. Okay, sit down, go back to the drawing board. I'm good at writing things down. You have to be able. I'm a spiritual person. The Bible said makes it plain. Make it plain. If you don't write it down, you don't know what you're doing. So you got to write it down, because sometimes when you don't write it down, you find out that there are things that you need to do before you do one thing. So SMART goals is something that is good to remember, good acronym, and it's something that makes it easier for you to remember.
So I like that, how you explain that. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, because if you don't, like, I ain't gonna say, a lot of people don't know SMART goals, like, don't know that acronym. So thank you. So I also wanted to talk about, so on the healing journey, like, people, they say, okay, I'm about to embark on this, um and they have been through so much trauma, you know, trying to set some goals, or even like you said, trying to even give a deadline and all that, is overwhelming. So can you share also the 3 stages of trauma, with our guests too, with our clients? I'm not our clients, our viewers.
Our viewers,
Sorry,
yes.
y'all.
Okay, so trauma, 3 of the stages of trauma is, I always say SMI. That's his little therapy thing, but it makes me, it all, acronym helps me remember, but it's safety and stabilization. Then you have mourning and remembrance, and then you have integration and reconnection. So when I think of the healing journey and the stages of trauma, if you are experiencing this right now, I hope I can help you connect on how you can make goals during this process. These 3 stages of trauma are not linear. There's not like you will be in this stage and then the second stage will follow and the third stage is follow. Depending on what's going on in your life, you could very well start with reconnection and integration. Maybe something happened. Maybe something was already going on in your world. Maybe you're an advocate of something and then you end up jumping right into a project, taking that process and integrating it into something, into your life, reconnecting. But then after that project is over, you could possibly go back to safety and stabilization. So with these different stages, with safety and stabilization, this is oftentimes where risk behaviors happen. This is where addiction sometimes appears. This is where maybe developing bad habits, drug use, because those things, whether unhealthy or not, you're trying to find a place where you feel safe with yourself, where you feel emotions, where you can be stabilized. During that time, you're working with your lymphatic system, your lymphatic system, your fight and flight response, your cortisol levels are high. You're trying to find something that's going to make you safe. Sometimes those temporary fixes of maybe drug use, maybe alcohol, maybe sexual addiction, it gives you that temporary satisfaction of dopamine, which is our feel good hormone. And oftentimes we say, like people who may use substance abuse, like chasing the high, that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for that feeling that makes them feel good. When you feel good, you feel safe. You feel stabilized. We like that process. We like that's the goal. We all want to get there, but those are just temporary solutions. So in that stage of trauma, you can find risk behaviors. During this time, you would think, but that's not a good time to be trying to set goals, because you still haven't worked with going through the emotions or moving to next stage of mourning and remembrance. Now, when you're doing the mourning and remembrance stage, it's more of processing what has happened, reflecting what has happened, dealing with the grief, dealing with the trauma. I like to say this is the stage where it's really, you're being human. You have all type of emotions going through. Actually, in the second stage is actually where the stages of grief actually come in at. Denial, acceptance, denial, acceptance,
I don't remember them off the top of
depression,
my head.
anger. Yeah, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Those are the 5 stages of grief. During the mourning and remembrance stage, this is where those stages come in at. Because now that you're processing the trauma, you're processing the grief, and you're trying to make it make sense to you. You're reflecting a lot. That's the second stage of trauma. The third stage of trauma is the integration, and reconnection. This is a good stage to set goals in. Now you're trying to get the new life. You're like, say, your day-to-day life. Let's just say if you're dealing with grief and you lost someone. Now you have to start to say, I didn't used to shovel snow before. My husband did that. You have to try to integrate these new things into your life. Or you were married, you're divorced. How do I start reconnecting my life back and changing my day-to-day life? Dealing with trauma. I know this trauma happened to me and it existed and it has changed some viewpoint, but how can I begin to repair my life and move past the trauma that I experienced? So that's what happened. Maybe some people become advocates for, whatever that thing was, death of a child, domestic violence, or just reconnecting with life. Like, oh, now I think it's time to work on me. We get that. Now I think it's time to work on me. I'm about to start doing more self-care things. I'm going to start traveling. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start dieting. You start integrating those things. And that is a really good place to maybe seek therapy. A good place to say, you know what? Now I think I'm ready for like some guidance, getting some help, reflecting more, and getting some guidance on how I can manage my new world.
So you hit something like how you said you go through the trauma and so some people take the road of I'm a go and seek out things to make me feel better. And then other people that are unhealthy, and then other people go and seek, like myself, like I'm a trauma victim, I'm a DV survivor. So I sought out to make it my life's work now to be an advocate. So I'm a true testament to this. You got to go through the stages of trauma. Like you said, it's linear. You back and forth, like just healing period, because you can be fine for years and then one word, one smell, or whatever, a trigger or something, and it'll take you all the way back to the beginning of where the trauma started. But the difference is the further you get along in your healing, you won't react the same. And you said that before about getting control of your emotions. That's something I had to do, is learn to get control of my emotions, because of, I used to react and just be a mess. Now things happen, I'm cool as a cucumber. So, I just wanted people to me, this is good stuff, because I just don't want nobody fumbling, stumbling along their journey. Like, set some goals, y'all. Set some goals.
Set some goals.
What did we talk about? What are some barriers to people starting their healing journey? Like, what are barriers that you see, like when you have clients or you out here in the world? What do you see as some of the biggest barriers to people even wanting to go on their journey?
The biggest barrier is, I have a thing for goal setting that I use with my clients, is focus, commitment, and execution. But under execution is consistency and persistency. So the execution is the biggest thing, because oftentimes we talk ourselves out of doing something. Well, I'm not ready yet. Well, I gotta wait to do this. Just like the podcast, that you're doing right now. Oh, I gotta have the right camera. I need to have the right mic. I need to have the right background. We talk ourselves out of doing things instead of just executing, instead of just doing it. I like to say, tap into, for older clients, I say, tap in and remember how carefree you were when you were younger. For younger adults and teenagers, tap into that world of dreaming that maybe you stopped dreaming. Go after those things. The biggest thing is executing. You don't need to have everything perfect. You just have to start. If you don't start, you're going to always be at stop and you're never going to pass go. So, and then in the execution process, it's consistency and persistency. Sometimes people get these, think they're the same, but they're not. Consistency is doing something continuously over a period of time. So you need to be consistent. Like I say, if you do one goal every day, if you have a checklist of 10 things, you don't have to do all 10 in one day. But for the next 10 days being consistent, you can start for being consistent. You can do that one goal a day. In 10 days, you would have completed 10 tasks. So consistency is being consistent, doing a thing. Now the persistency comes in is when you have to work through adversity. So if you're a parent, you have children, or you're an older adult and you're taking care of your parents, and you have so many things that you have to do in the morning before you can even wash your face. Adversity, being persistent, pushing through when you don't want to push through. In Michigan, no one wants to go outside in this cold weather, but there's something that you do. You got to be persistent through the weather, through the storm, through the cold. You have to be able to go. So the biggest thing is executing, and then making sure when you execute, continue to be consistent. And remember, when it gets tough, be persistent.
Well, thank you for those. Let's see. We had talked about just give some tips that people, things that they little things that like they can think, something real quick that'll jog memories, or little quick tips that they can put in their toolbox, just to help them along the way. Like you gave a lot, but just like something that, like you said, acronyms, something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna say my go-to: focus, commitment, execution. Remember those three. Focus, commitment. If you're trying to figure out what my goal should be, what's your focus? What is it? What is it that you're trying to do? Identify that. Commitment. We make commitments to everything. We make a commitment to paying the DTE bill, even though we have to. We make commitments to others that's outside of our circle. We make commitments everywhere else. But what we don't do is make commitments to ourselves.
Yep.
You owe it to yourself to make a commitment to follow through and do something for yourself. Yep. So if you're trying to figure out how to get the goal thing down, focus. What's the goal? Identify that. The second thing is, once you identify that goal, be committed to it. Even write a mantra to yourself. I, Zipporah, am committed to going to the gym at 5 a.m. Be specific. That's down to the SMART goals. Being specific. Write that down. Sign it. Take a picture of it. Put it in your phone. Put it on your refrigerator. Put it on your mirror. Whatever. I would say so. Focus. Get in commitment. And then once you identified that and made a commitment to yourself, execute. I don't care what it is. Just execute it. Start doing things. If there are some tasks, quick things, I would say write down the top 5 things you want to do. Top 5 things you want to do. Once you write down the top 5 things you want to do, categorize them by priority. The top 2 and 3 is the ones that's priority, and those are the ones that you start to work on.
Oh, those are good. That we had talked about, you just said write it down. Write it down if you want it to happen. So we had also talked about vision boards. Like we both are like big vision board people.
Yes.
And can you talk about the whole vision board like process? Because you shared, how you do your vision board process. So can you share that with the audience?
Yes. I love vision boards, people. Vision boards, not only is it a way to be creative, and things are not just, kind of dull. It's a way to be creative with your thoughts. It puts you in a different space. It's fun. And there's different ways that you can do them. Vision boards have most definitely changed from when vision boards both started. We were talking about getting the big old board from the dollar store and everything on it. No, it's so many different ways you can do vision boards. You can still do that if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still go get the board from the dollar store. You could get picture frames. I like to do the 8x10 picture frames because they're just a little bit bigger, and you could put a little more artwork or writings and drawings on them, and you could put them in there. Then you could set them up on your dresser. You could prop them up in your living room. You could have them somewhere where you can see them. I have now transitioned to where I actually have a notebook, but the notebook is broken down in certain areas of my life. I have goals for professional goals. I have professional goals for health. I have professional spiritual goals. So I have them in there, and then it's creative. I have artwork in there or what. That's how I do my vision boards. Phones. Your phone is a really good. We all got all these $1,000 phones. Do you know you can make scrapbooks with your phone? If you don't already have an app, you can get a scrapbook app. You take pictures of the things that you want. You put your notations down there, and it's something that you could pull up in your phone and you could go through on a daily basis. Why vision boards? Everybody, I don't really want to do them. You don't have to if you don't. But why vision boards? Back to what we were saying. Write it down, make a vision, make it plain. I have done so many vision boards over the year, and what surprises me is even when I go back to them, and then when I pick it up months later or even a year later, on how I've been in tears that my vision actually came to pass. Just because I kind of etched it. I made a commitment to myself. So reason why vision boards are good, like I say, it's creative. And then you begin to brain dump. Brain dumping is good. You brain dump and you put down your goals. If you want to travel, where are the places you want to travel to? Put that on your vision board. It doesn't always have to be something professional or something serious. It's just going through this journey of life and exploring and doing things that allows us to live. So that's the really good thing about vision boards. You can be creative. It's a fun way. And it's not like you're just looking at a piece of paper, number 1 to 20, and I'm going to do this, and this. It makes a more creative way to look at some of the things that you want to do in your life.
So that with the vision boards, I know one thing I do with the vision boards is I always pray before I do it. And I ask God to guide me to what, I have an idea in my head what I want, and then I'll just okay, Lord, this is what I want to do, just guide me to the, and so a lot of times I'll end up cutting out stuff that I wasn't even thinking about and put it on my board, and then it comes to fruition. Like for this podcast, I have a notebook too. I have several little, I'm like you, I got several notebooks, I got phones. But for this podcast, I had this little book. I made it years ago, and I put all this podcast stuff in there, and I was like, #1 podcast, da 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 da.
There we
go. Slowly, let me tell you how God worked though. So I put it in there. And then slowly, little things started happening to where I don't know if the phone was listening or what. It would be all these podcast ads and things. And then I started names. I went to Bloom Transformation, and I did the gong. I did that, and I had written down 2 different names that I wanted to name actually my life coaching business. I was I don't know which one. And I was really, it was frustrating me. So I went to the gong healing session. And when I woke up, it was clear what I was supposed to call my life coaching thing, my life coaching business whenever I started. But I was led to put that on my vision board, So I ended up taking the name of the life coaching business and making it the name of the podcast that I had put in the vision board in the vision book. So it's I had one thing in mind, but God had another, but it was the name that you know. So this was gonna be the name, but it was gonna be this instead of this, you know. So vision boards are powerful. Even this house I have here, I put it on the board. I got a horse on my board too.
You want a horse? That's okay. I want a cow. I want a cow. I want a friend. I want me a cow as a pet. Don't ask me why. I just want a cow for a pet. Don't ask me.
You go out there, hey Essie.
I'm gonna share. This is a material one, but for some motivation for people that we all like nice things. So my grandfather was a Lincoln man. I am a Lincoln woman. I love Lincolns. I know it comes from my grandfather. I remember him being in Continentals when I was a kid and swinging my feet. And I just remember he got a new car every year. So on my vision board, I had a Lincoln Continental, and I had it specific down to the black label. And when I was married, I was like, okay, my daughter schedule was running me all over the place. So I needed to get me another car so I can give her my car. So we go to the dealership, and let me tell you, I went into the dealership I just want like a $12,000 car. I wanted a Mazda 3. I just wanted something a little sporty just to move about. Wasn't even thinking about a Lincoln, but it was on my vision board. So I go, and they didn't have a car. That evening, it's 9:00. My husband at the time was sitting on the couch, and the dealer texts me a Lincoln MKZ with the top trim at the time. So I turned to him because I walked away while in the dealership because my sister was in there and they were talking. I said, did you tell him that I like Lincolns? He said, no. I said, you lying. I said, you had to tell him that I like Lincolns. He said, no, I didn't. I showed him the picture. Why was it a Lincoln, sporty like I would like it, the only Lincoln in the fleet at Enterprise?
Oh, wow.
I got that car 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Only Lincoln in the fleet. It was on my vision board. And I went back to my vision board and I couldn't believe it. I didn't even try. I didn't put effort in. It just, the universe, God created the universe because we're energy fields. And when we put things out and we put our thoughts out, that's why you got to be careful with your words. It came back to me. And I was able to go back and look at something that I creatively did and something that I wanted. And I put it down on my vision board and it came to pass.
Yes. Y'all, make you a vision board. I'm going to tell one more story about the vision board. So I put on this one vision board. It was like one day I just, out of the blue, I was feeling real creative. Like this one, I drew everything. So everything was like, I drew a picture of my house. I drew a picture of my car. I drew the tree in the front yard. I drew the deck I drew everything. And so I put on there that my house is paid off and that my car is paid off. And I put that that I get a new fence. So after my divorce, it took me a little while to switch the house over and stuff like that. So I was like paid off, but it was paid off, but not how I thought. But the house ended up paid off. I ended up having it in my name. And then through that, I paid off my car. So I was able to pay off my car. I still owed like $13,000 or whatever. So I paid off my car. And then I got my fence in the back. All that was tangled, but I had drew that on the vision board, but it came to me. I had no clue how it was going to happen. And that's the thing. You just put it on there. You have to release it. Put it on there and just let God do what he do, So make a vision board,
And I do it with my clients a lot. And sometimes it may not be with the boards. Sometimes clients can be in therapy apprehensive for a lot of different reasons. So what I do, I write it down in my notes and I'll have them visualize. Nothing is limitless. I don't believe in limited beliefs. I have them go, what's the biggest house that you want to live in? What would you want to do when you get older? What would you want your income to be? Do you want a family? How would you want? I take my clients through this visualization process. And as they begin to tell me their visions and their dream for their life, I write it down. So throughout sessions and throughout therapy, as we're making progress and then they're growing, I take them back. Remember we did our visualization exercise, and you remember you said this? Or I would just throw a nugget in the middle of a session, like, yeah, sound like to me you about to get ready to be a doctor soon. So I do that, and they go through, and then that is kind of like areas where I see clients start building. Some who may not be may be hopeless, they start building hope in themselves, they start self-confidence, they start believing in themselves, and if anything, they start having feelings of belief. And that is more important, regardless of whatever your abilities may be. If you don't believe that you can do it, then it will never be done. So you have to believe that you can do it.
Yeah. And what you said, where our words are powerful, even like when you're going through like making your goals, and like the things we say to ourselves is, you know, the way you word it is important. Like if you say, let me see, if you joking, oh, I'm stupid, like even saying little stuff like that. So a lot of people are like, I don't believe in the universe and blah blah blah. I'm like, look, it's all God, okay? And what you put out there, you get back. So it's like I've learned that along my journey is to work on being kind to myself. And that's one of the goals that I set in my goals for my healing journey, is being kind to myself and speaking life into myself instead of tearing myself down. So y'all, words are powerful. So it's true. Power in the tongue, power in the tongue. Oh,
Yes.
okay. So the phone lines are about to open. Guys, the new number, because we had to switch up the whole setup, like I said. And the new number, if you want to call in, is 248-905-1128. And while we wait on calls, Zipporah, can you share? Let me see.
Oh.
Can you? I think I might have. Do I have a text caller? No. I got some people said they was gonna text in too.
Okay.
Text questions in, but so we had talked about some books that you recommend. I ended up going ahead and making the library anyway. But you had talked about some books. It was the 4 Agreements and what was that? 4-Hour Work Week.
Yeah, 4-Hour Work Week, and the things that successful people do before breakfast. Let's go with those 3 really quick. 4 Agreements is, I read this book periodically. If I don't make it once a year, I read it every other year. The 4 Agreements is good. It's good for reestablishing yourself on your self-healing journey. If I can remember, the 4 Agreements is always do your best, don't make assumptions. It's 2 more. Well, I can't remember them off the top of my head.
I got them right here. Hold on, because I had saved them in my phone. Just those 4. Where did they go? I had saved them in my phone because at first I was gonna put them up. Where did they go?
Be powerful with your intentional with your words, I think.
Yep. Be impeccable with your words. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best.
Yes. Those 4 agreements will really help you, especially if you're dealing with yourself and how you interact with other people. And only thing we can do, only person that we can control is ourselves. We can't control our children. We can't control our parents. And the 4 Agreements is a really, really good book to help you do some self-reflecting on yourself. And I think it's really, really great for the healing journey, and especially those that have gone through emotional trauma, where someone is always telling you you're not going to be anything, you're ugly, and things, all those mean things that people have used their words towards you. And then sometimes you project those words off into other people. When you read the 4 Agreements, it will really give you a good perspective. When it comes to goal setting, The things that successful people do before breakfast. I really love this book. If you are a person who, I want to say, a little more analytical, and you kind of want a step by step on how to do goal setting, this is good. Laura talks about, I forget her last name, but she talks about how many hours are in the week. She breaks it down in a concrete way that's realistic, that makes sense. Like, okay, if you work Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock, once you off work, to Sunday at about 6, how many hours in the day that you actually have? If you're trying to reach a goal, maybe start a business outside of work, those weekend hours are important. What can you do within those hours? Are you spending more time on social media? Or if you want to spend more family time with your family, what are you doing on the weekend in those hours where you could be using that, being more efficient, being more intentional with your time? She breaks it down. She gives a lot of suggestions, different ways of doing things. That is a really, really, really good book. Then what was the other one?
The 4, did I put it in there? No, I didn't. Dang, the 4-hour.
Oh,
I
4-hour
said
work
it, but
week.
yeah, I didn't
You
put it
said
in there. I said it, but I didn't put it in there.
4-hour work week is really good. It tells you in 4 hours, if you got 4 hours within the day, how to be intentional with that time. Lunch breaks. What we doing our lunch break? If you're working, do you really need to go drive, get in the car, go to a restaurant, stand in line for 15, 20 minutes and kind of smash that food down before you get back? Or can you bring your lunch, sit at the desk, have your tasks, like those 5 items I said, break them down to 3. Can you, on your lunch, just write your list out on that one item? What do I need to do X, Y, and Z to end up getting me to get that task done today? And yeah, those are some of the books. And I see you got the Body Keep Score there too, isn't that?
Yep. Well, I want to interrupt you real quick. We got a text in question.
Okay.
So our texting audience participant asks, what are some of the scrapbook apps that you use? Or do you know any?
What? You know what? I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't. Canva is one. I do got Canva on my phone, and InShot. I'm about to say I don't. I do got Canva and InShot on my phone, and they're really good. And it's real simple too. It's not even. It's real simple.
And it's an app too called so I make mine with let me find it. Is it Flamingo? Oh, yeah, Filmigo, Filmigo. You can use that one too. And then if you want, you can like go in your Google. I think Google Photos has a way you can make little.
It does. Yep.
Make little stuff in Google Photos too. So that those are the things that I use to make mine for my phone.
Yep. And I have a folder in my gallery that I use. Sometimes I would use, you can use like maybe something for Canva or something. You know how you can edit your photo and you can add text. I'll do that. I'll put some text on a picture or something that I've taken, a trip or something, and I'll do that. And then I have a gallery folder that says vision board, and I'll put them in there like that as well.
Yep, that's a great way to keep it organized. Can we go back to the books? I wanted you to talk about the Body Keep Score, the library.
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting on it to pop back up. Yeah, but that book, right there, they have a workbook for that too.
Yes, the Body Keep Score has a lot to do with the things that our body feels from the emotions that are connected to the trauma that we have had. When I used to work with children, this book was very, very important because we remember, even if we don't remember what happened, because during trauma, a lot of people can disassociate. You remember how something made you feel. And from those emotions in your thoughts, you may not be in that moment where the trauma happened, but the thought of it can literally take you back into that moment because your body is picking up the trauma that happened during that moment that started with your thoughts. And from that, your body you can start, you can have panic attacks. You know, you can black out, you can freeze. That's your fight and flight mode. All of these are happening because of your thoughts, and your body is responding to your thoughts from the Body Keep Score. So in the workbook, it goes into more detail of you really writing down and identifying what your trauma is. And then it's a series of questions that takes you through working out and talking out the trauma that you're experiencing. And once you start working through that process, you'll start having less physical responses. And you know, trauma also causes a lot of health conditions, stress. There's many studies that has been done on this, but like Crohn's disease and fibromyalgia, they have been linked to chronic stress. And this is your body having that physical reaction from your level of stress, from your level of trauma, unhealed trauma, so to speak. So the Body Keep Score, if you really maybe not ready to talk to a therapist yet, I would suggest that book. But I also would suggest that when you start going through the book, try to connect to it with a therapist or connect with someone that can guide you through, because it will take you down some real deep emotional pain, and you want to be able to have that outlet for someone to help guide you through that process.
Support, we got another caller on the line. We got a caller on the line.
Okay. Okay, on Facebook, what book? That's the Body, Shamika, that's the Body Keep Score.
Is the caller, did the caller get chimed in yet? Hold on. Oh, they hung up. Call back. Call back.
Call back, caller.
Call back. Okay, we won't talk for a sec, okay? So y'all can call in. Look, y'all, I'm gonna figure out how to do this, okay?
That's the process. Trust the process.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna look back in a couple years and be like, man, remember when I was hanging up on people?
But now I got it seamlessly now. Yep.
Oh, okay. The person contacts me. Call back. It's something weird happening. The caller said when they call in, they can hear talking, and then it hangs up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, you guys, if you want to,
can they text?
If you want to put a comment in, let me go to Facebook. If you want to ask a comment in the comment section on Facebook, you can do that too. So I'll go there. And then we can ask our questions there too. So callers who just called in, you can text your questions for me, your comments for me. Oh, hey, Miss Payne, I see you on there. How you doing? Hey, Miss Emerson Stewart, how you doing? Miss Emerson Stewart, did you have a question? Because you popped up.
Hello, Miss Stewart. I saw her pop. I saw her pop up too.
Let me see. Oh no, we can't hear. Is it yeah, it's some weird reason we can't hear the caller. Like the caller can hear us, but we can't hear them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know why? I don't have on headphones.
strange reason. Okay.
Forgive me, y'all. Just text in.
That's okay. See,
look, the way this happened.
Exactly. If we would have said just forget about it because we was trying to be perfect, y'all wouldn't have got this information tonight. So
yeah, so y'all got some good information. So if you want to comment on Facebook because Serendipitously Bobby forgot her headphones, please do. So, I forgot the headphones, y'all. Yeah, let me tell y'all how this went. Oh, okay. So we have a comment on YouTube. So let me go on over to YouTube. Let me see. Go on over there. We have somebody asking a question there. That looks like that is Miss Callie. Let me see. All right. We are, is this it? I'm trying to find it.
Miss Payne laughing about them headphones.
Don't laugh about the headphones. Oh, here we go. Live. All right. So, okay. She said, oh, he was calling. Okay, Callie, text me on my phone and ask your question. Look, okay, let me tell y'all what happened. So it was so bad outside this morning. I mean, it was rough. So I didn't want Zipporah to have to drive all the way from where she stays to way out here. So I texted her, okay, y'all, I have a Droid. She has an iPhone. So she said,
no, I don't. No. Don't put me with the iPhone. I got a Samsung too.
Oh, you have a Samsung? Then I wonder.
Yeah,
okay.
It just didn't come through.
Yeah. So, okay. So it never, my text. Oh no. My thing is about to my laptop is about to die. How is this possible? Hold on. Are you serious?
Well, I'll tell you the story why she looking for the cord. So she really did text me. Text went through on her end. However, she texted me and I was 10 minutes from the studio. And she said that I'm sending the link. I said, well, I thought we were meeting in person. I done picked my daughter up and everything. And come to find out, the exit that I came up on to grab some snacks really quick, it was 4 minutes from her house. And she said, come over to my house. We'll do it at the house. So that's where I'm at right now. And we made a podcast happen.
And we made it work, y'all.
What was her question? Miss Callie had a question?
I am. Oh, the phone ringing. Nasha, just go ahead and text me or put it in the chat because I forgot our headphones.
She said the body keeps score. That is something that I'm sorry if I'm trying to read it. I don't have my glasses on, Miss Moss, so give me a second.
I'll read it real quick.
Okay.
It said, I like how she touched on the body keeps score. This is something that my therapist a while ago, and I think this is very true. When I was in my relationship, I went through a period of depression where I was exhausted all the time, and it showed in my house. I wasn't taking care of myself and my household like I should have because I was constantly exhausted. I was having panic attacks to the point where I had to be on medication, and I never experienced that before. But an allergy started occurring when I was in the relationship with my ex. Yeah.
The trauma response.
That's your trauma. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you deep dive into that, Zipporah?
Yes. So what happens is that our body is always fighting to be in homeostasis, which be in some type of balance. The amygdala, I always mispronounce it, but it's in the back of your head. That and the lymphatic system, that is what happens. That is what's going on in our minds when we're dealing when we're dealing with stress and our fight and flight. So when you're dealing with emotions and thoughts of the past, it's like a good example is we ever see someone or see a bug, it's not nowhere near us, or we saw it on TV and we start to itch. That's because we are actually having an emotional response to what we're seeing. So when you're dealing with trauma or past experiences, like from the relationship that you was in and it wasn't unhealthy, and you caught, and that during that time you were having maybe anxiety, panic attacks, when you think about that, your body is literally back in that, even your body is literally there. What's the old song? Your mind is here with me, your body's on the other side of town, or whatever it was. Your body is back in that same environment. So therefore, you are stressed. You're having headaches. You're having panic attacks. Then when you start changing your environment, or if you begin to work on your cognitive development, start to think of having affirmations, starting to think of more things positive, or even something as if getting into another healthy relationship at a right time in your life, and you start to experience positive reactions, healthy interactions, you'll find that those things will start to subside and your body won't be responding in that way. But our body responds to what our mind thinks, and all of that is connected to our emotions.
Yep. So we have another text comment. Goal setting is definitely needs to be attainable. Consider anxiety a goal. Can't be I don't want anxious anymore, but maybe I want to be able. Oh, so a goal could be like if somebody has anxiety, they don't want to be anxious anymore. So they would set that as a goal, but maybe I want to be able to recognize my anxiety trigger sooner within 3 days of triggering event, for someone that does not know their triggers. And that's a big one, Zipporah. People don't know their triggers. Like it'll come out the blue and then they just react to somebody like, what the heck? But some people don't know their triggers. I was one of those people. Now I know my triggers, but yeah, some people don't know. And then it said, if you had a friend that bail out on you the way we bail out on ourselves, what would you want that person for a friend?
Right. And I think we talked about that. Okay, two things: the anxiety. Briefly, because I'm not sure, you got to find your triggers. But anxiety is almost, I'm going to just say 90, leave 10% or 95%. It's rooted in fear. It's about what ifs. If something happens, if this is going to happen, or this happened, or if I do this. Anxiety is basically rooted in fear. So when you start to figure out what that thing is that you're scared of, more than likely that will probably end up being your trigger. So anxiety, for instance, driving. I have a lot of older women in my family that don't drive because the anxiety of a possible car accident, XYZ, someone pulling out in front of them, the anxiety is so high that they don't even trust their ability that they can drive. They're too scared of the fear of driving, and so they don't drive. So with anxiety, but we did talk about what can you do when someone is healing, how the support system can actually help. Some of the things that I say, please, 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 people. I know we come from a culture because of where our ancestors were when they were worrying about their children getting home. Please don't tell anybody to get over it.
Oh, God, no.
That is most definitely the way to make the person who you care about feel invalidated. Yep. Validate their emotions, even if you don't agree with how they feeling. Sometimes and listen and not listen and don't listen to give a response. Some people just want someone to just be there, be present, be in the room. Another thing is when you have someone who is maybe talking to you about some things that they're going through, please put your cell phone down. As a therapist, I am telling you, your cell phone makes you not present in the moment. It's one of the easiest ways for the person who you're talking to check out, feel invalidated, feel like they're being unheard, and feel like that you're not supporting them, when you can just take the time out to let your phone sit for 10 minutes and listen to them. I would say those are 3 of the things that you can do if you are a support system for someone who's going on their healing journey.
And I want to say this too, as being a support, is when somebody finally makes up their mind to start to go ahead and get serious, they already had a little reservation. That little I tried sitting back there. So if that person is like, I need this, that, and the other to help me, do it. Because that's that little short window of opportunity to get them started. Because if everybody bails out on them, that's what Nasha was saying. Everybody bails out on them when they're ready to start, then it's like, well, dang. And if you having a support, not everybody has a support system. And so when you do, like you said, support system, be there unconditional. And before you, and this is something I always talk about, is, are you a long hauler when somebody's coming to you and you helping them on their journey? Know how far you can go with that. Because some people will be there. I can be there and take your calls, but I can't take you to your appointments. Or I can't watch your kids if you go to work, or, things like that. So make sure you know what you can sign up for when you are helping somebody, because you don't want to be a barrier accidentally because you overextended yourself.
Yes. So I would totally agree. Yeah. Being honest on what you can do. Be tactful the best way that you can. But if you know that you can't assist with babysitting their children 5 days a week while they go to work, say, I can watch them on every other Monday. And I can help you in that way, instead of saying yes and then don't answer the call. Just kind of bail out on them. Just be honest. Once we all get to the point of being honest, it helps. And one thing I will say too, remember, treat others how you would want to treat them. We all are going to go through a process in life where there's maybe grief, maybe trauma, or life transitioning to a different spot in their life. Maybe you're really trying to get to another spot in your career, and you got work, and you got a spouse, and you have things that you really need to do, and you can't get out with your friends and things of that nature. Be true to who you are and be honest about what you can and can't do. And remember that you will want the same thing revered for you during your time of need, or during your time of needing support. So remember that. The funny thing I always connect with this, how when you in your car and pedestrians just walk in the street like you don't need to get through, don't you know when you get in your car, you're going to be a driver? So don't act like, if you a driver, remember, pedestrian, that you're going to be a driver too, and you trying to get through too. Don't just keep walking in the street. So think about the other side of when helping people. What type of respect that you think would be good for you if you were going through and you needed some support on your healing journey?
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't. The world to me is so it's about self now. What can I do for myself? Me. And it's like, if we just all help one person and that person helps somebody else, we can change so many lives. And it's just heartbreaking how the television shows everything is about self and ego. I'm like, oh Lord. So but this, Zipporah, this was really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You gave some good juicy stuff. I put on my post, I was like, grab your notebooks.
I hope y'all did.
Yes, this was a good lesson. I'm adding you to my list of people I'm having back. No, because I want to start doing like because I do the interviews a lot, people sharing their stories, but I like having where we take time to educate, like truly educate and give people some tools. So when they get off this podcast, stop watching, they can say, okay, I got something tangible out of this. I can go out into the world now and start implementing the three things you gave tonight, you know?
Yes.
So that's so I would love you to be back.
Yes, I would love to be back. So focus, commitment, and execution. Those would be my three. And under execution is consistency and persistency.
We got another.
Thank
We
you,
got one
Miss
more.
Green.
We got another person chiming in. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, we already read the thing. It's like I'm trying to call too.
Oh.
She said, thank you. This is really good information. You're welcome. And thank you for calling in and or texting in. So Zipporah, can you share all your social media handles, share about your therapy practice? There we go.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at the Redhead Therapist. My something happened with my website, but it'll be back up. But it would be Trilogy Holistic Counseling. However, if you're looking, I do offer free 15 to 20-minute consultations. And this is strictly so you can ask me questions. I can see why you're coming to therapy. And I'm not for whoever. I don't want to just see anybody. I want to know if it's a good fit and it's a relationship where you actually share interpersonal and vulnerable details. I think I'm a great person and I may be a great person. I may not be the therapist for you, but however, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've worked in community mental health. I've worked in private practice. I've worked in nonprofit. I've worked with children. I've worked with teenagers and adolescents and adults. So, but if you want to find me and if you want to schedule a free consultation, you can find me at Psychology Today under my practice name, which is Trilogy Holistic Wellness. So once again, you can go to Psychology Today, type in Trilogy Holistic Wellness. I do offer face-to-face sessions and I do offer telehealth sessions.
And then we have your email up here, Trilogy Holistic Wellness at gmail.com. Her Facebook handle is at the Redhead Therapist, because look at our beautiful redhead therapist. TikTok, the Redhead Therapist, and Instagram, the Redhead Therapist. So, all of them redhead therapists, no. But so Zipporah, thank you, and I can attest to your skills as a therapist, because the population, when we worked together that you were helping, you got in there in them trenches and you really like helped the kids, young adults. You made a difference.
We worked all pandemic, people. We worked all pandemic. We did not stop. We worked. We was boots on the ground. We worked all pandemic.
Yes. In the office with our mask on, like, please don't let us get COVID.
Driving clients around, but getting it done.
Yep. And like the way you care for people, like you genuinely care, like it's true. You care, like you said, you want to build relationship with your client, like, because when people connect, they're more receptive to the help. So, and you connect well with people. So y'all,
thank you, Bobby.
No, I did enjoy it's working with other therapists sometimes like, oh, but no, working with you, it was really great. You made the job just super easy. And like I said, I really look up to you and admire your skill set and you as a person. So but thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna schedule us again.
Yes, this opportunity.
I didn't hear you.
I said thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, this was fun. Thank you. So I am going to quickly talk about how we can help the channel. So 5 ways we can help the channel is like our social media pages, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share the page with others. Comment to help motivate others. So just like how Callie shared her snippet, that right there could help somebody else. I ain't saying just air all your laundry out, but something that you're comfortable sharing that could help somebody else, or plant a seed, share it. Somebody can go back later because the lives stay up. You can go on YouTube and pull it up and see it. And then also financial support, just donating or giving to the channel, and anything that is any financial donations that are sent to the channel, the proceeds from the channel go towards funding Winning Touch Advocacy Agency, resources to help victims of domestic violence and intimate partner violence safely start their healing journey, and fund the Life Essential podcast weekly broadcast. So Winning Touch Advocacy Agency, that is my advocacy agency. Those were the two names, guys, I was talking about. So Winning Touch and Life Essentials. So my maiden last name is Winning. So you get the Winning Touch from Serendipitously Bobby. But Life Essentials, and they go hand in hand. And whenever I get here, I go and help clients from Winning Touch Advocacy Agency. So the goal is to help pay for shelters, pay for Ubers, not shelter, hotels, Ubers. If somebody need their cell phone bill paid, if they need to move, things like that. Because a lot of times people in domestic violence situations, if they've been living with somebody for a while, they won't leave because they don't want to leave their stuff.
Yeah.
Or y'all, I'm putting this on my vision board. I am going to open a pet shelter for people in domestic violence situations, because there are hardly any. People will stay because when they leave, they can't take their pet. And people's dogs, cats are their children. Yep. So any financial support that you can give to the channel goes to a good cause. So, and then there is the Cash App to send if you want to financially support the channel. $1, 50 cents, $2. It's all appreciated. Thank you. So, guys, I want to share with you too. Next week, let me go and pull up our guest for next week. Yeah, the lineup for this year is just is awesome. We have some really cool people coming on the show. So next week we have Miss Katrina Calhoun. So I will be posting the commercial soon for that. So we'll see you next week, Katrina, as our special guest. You're gonna love her. She is an author. She is the founder and owner of Sada's House. So she will be here to educate, share snippets of her stories, guys. So this year we got some really awesome information, awesome people. Just tune in. It's going to get better and better as we go. So I will see you all next week, next Thursday at 7 p.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. No, we're not going to do Instagram. I decided I'm not going to do Instagram because of formatting. But yeah, so live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. as we talk with Miss Katrina Calhoun. So I will see you guys next week. Good night, Miss Sephora.
Come on, Bobby. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.